Hello my dear students, I hope you people are fine. So let us continue with the chapter that is structured query language. We have already discussed about the definition in our previous video that SQL is a database language that is used to store, used to manipulate and used to retrieve the data from the relational database. We have also discussed about the definition of relational database. A relational database wherein the data is being stored in the form of tables. Am I right? So SQL is a language wherein it is used to store, it is used to fetch, or it is used to manipulate. Manipulate in the sense it can change the contents in the relational database where the data is being systematically stored in the form of tables, in the form of rows and columns. So this is nothing but example for the relational database where the data is being stored in the form of rows and columns in the table. Understood? So let us know about the how exactly this SQL is able to retrieve, able to store, or able to manipulate the data from the database. This SQL, by using the SQL query language, we need to write the queries in order to create the table, in order to store the information into the table, and in order to retrieve also we need to write the queries. I'll show you some of the queries examples so that you can get an idea. Whenever I'll be telling storing, manipulating, all those will be done by the queries. You can see here this is one query, that is create command. That is by using the create command I'm able to create the table. We are using a select command. These are all the SQL commands. By using the SQL command I have written a query in order to select the supplier name where the supplier name is IBM. I have used the SQL command known as insert. Okay, I have written the query in order to insert the values into the table known as suppliers. Values I was inserting for the supplier ID and the supplier name. Okay, let me explain this. So in the database we need to maintain the data in the form of tables. So first we need to create the table. In order to create the table I need to write a query by using an SQL command known as create. So there is a syntax. How do I write it? Create table known as suppliers. This is my table name. Table name can also be called as relation name. Am I right? So create table suppliers. Now my table name I got. Next thing is I need to create the columns, which can also be called as the attributes. Am I right? So what are the attributes or the columns the suppliers table should consist of? It should consist of the column name or the attribute as supplier ID. Then you leave about this further we will discuss. Supplier ID. Then one more column I am including with the supplier name. Then one more column I am including with the contact name. So by using the SQL command create, okay, I have created a table known as supplier. I hope you are able to understand. So this is how I am able to store the data in terms of database. I am able to create the table. Next, after creating, you need to insert the values into my table. Am I right? Suppliers. So for that I am using a query. I am writing a query by using an SQL command known as insert. So insert into table name, insert into suppliers. For which columns you are inserting the data? For the supplier ID and the supplier name. What values you are inserting? That is 24553 will be stored in the supplier ID and IBM will be stored as the supplier name. So these are the just example how exactly our SQL is using in order to fetch or to store or to manipulate the data into the database. Okay, then we have also used the command known as select. Suppose if I want to have one record, I want to know the one record where the supplier name is IBM, then I can write like this: supplier star, select star from the table name known as suppliers where the supplier name is IBM, then that particular row will be selected. So just to show how the queries are being written by using the SQL, I have given these some of the example. Later in detail we will be studying what is the syntax, how to create the table, okay, how to insert the values into table, how to manipulate, how to change the data. Understood? Then we have also discussed about the history of the SQL, isn't it? So let us once again have a glance within 2 minutes. So in the year of 1970, Dr. E.F. Codd was being considered to be as the father of relational database. So why he is being called as father of relational database? Because he is the actual who proposed the relational model for the database, wherein the relational model, he actually mentioned that the data should be stored in a systematic manner in the form of tables. It is his idea, and that was being implemented on the database. Hence he is being called as the father of relational database. In our previous video, we have said the SQL, structured query language, is being made as the standard query language for the various relational database. Okay, so in the year of 1974 actually SQL came into existence, but in the year of 1986 IBM actually proposed a model or the prototype for the relational database and made the SQL as a standard language. Okay, and this standardization was being given by the ANSI, that is American National Standards for Institute, and the first ever RDBMS was being released by the Oracle. Now I'll tell you what is this RDBMS. So relational database can also be called as the RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. Okay, so there were some of the examples of the relational database management system which had come into existence are, okay, that is the PostgreSQL, SQLite, okay, MS SQL, MS Access, Oracle, Sybase, MS SQL Server. All these are the database, but they are of type what? Relational database, where the data is being stored in terms of tables. Okay. Now, why exactly this SQL is being made as a standard language? Because there we had different types of relational database, PostgreSQL, SQLite, MS SQL. All these are the different relational database. So all these relational database started developing their own database language, and it was difficult for the programmers to study each and different kinds of database languages. So for that reason, SQL, structured query language, was being made as the common database language, understood, which was being agreed by all the types of relational database systems. So, and that standardization was being given by the ANSI, that is American National Standards for Institute. I hope now we are able to understand. These are the different types of database. They are relational database. So always started developing their own database languages. Obviously it will be difficult for the programmers to code or to store and retrieve. Okay, so they need to have an unique coding techniques to deal with the different kinds of relational database. So in that case, when the structured query language had come into existence, that was being made as the standard database language that all the RDBMS have been abided for. Understood? Then next, these can also be called as the dialects of SQL. These means they are the examples for the relational database management system. They can also be referred as the dialects of the SQL. I hope the concept is clear. Now herein we have the RDBMS like MS Access. MS Access is using the version of SQL. It is also using the version of SQL known as Jet SQL as the database language. Okay. Then we have MS SQL Server. This MS SQL Server is using the SQL as a database language, but it is using the different version of SQL language known as the TSQL, that stands for the Transact SQL. Okay. Then Oracle is also again an RDBMS. Okay, it is also using an structured query language. Okay, but it is using the different version of SQL, that is nothing but PL SQL, that is procedural language structured query languages. Other all PostgreSQL, SQLite, they are using the simple structured query languages. MS Access, Oracle and MS SQL Server, they are using the different versions of structured query language, wherein MS Access is using JetSQL, Oracle is using the PLSQL, and MS SQL Server is using TSQL. I hope the concepts are clear. Then moving on to the next one, the data types in SQL. In SQL, we have four categories of the data types. Like how in our C++ programming we have integer, floating, character, okay, void, double, different kinds of categories of data types. Same way in the SQL also we have four different types of categories of data type. First one is the numeric data type, then floating point, then date and time data type, then the character or the string data type. So under the numeric data type we have two different data types. One is the number and the integer. Whenever I need to represent any whole numbers, then I have to use the number or the integer. That means the numbers without any fractional parts. If I want to represent, then I can use number or the integer. Here both you can represent in terms of signed numbers and unsigned numbers. Then coming to the floating point, whenever we need to represent any real number with the fractional part, then we need to use the data types, that is the float or the real or the decimal. Okay, then again we have the date and time data type. Okay, if I want to have only date to be printed, then I have to use only the data type known as date. And if I want only the time to be printed, then I can use the data type as time. If I want both the date and time, then I can go for the date time data type. Then we have the character or the string data type. Understood? Okay, so we whenever I need to represent the data in terms of alphabets, okay, or the letters, then I can go for either character or varchar. Okay, so this character, it is only have the capable of holding the letters or the alphabets. Okay, but whereas in case of varchar, it can hold the combination of alphanumeric numbers as well as the alphabets. Suppose for example, employee ID. If employee ID is A100, A is the alphabet, 100 is nothing but numeric format. If I have to store the data into the alphanumeric format, then I can go for the varchar, which is nothing but variable character, variable varchar or varchar2. Now what is the difference between char and varchar is, one of the example I'll give you, like how we are specifying, if I say char, if I want in C++, if I want to declare the character data type, how do I mention data type and then the variable name along with the size? Say for example, char A of 5. That means I am declaring an array, okay, of size 5 who is holding the data type of character, char A of 5. Similarly in the SQL also, whenever we need to declare any kind of name, student name if I want to define, okay, then I need to use the either character or varchar. I can anyway, any data type I can use. Character only supports for alphabets, varchar both the combination of name and the alphabets. But usually in practical we are using varchar rather than character. Why we are using, I'll tell you. Suppose if the student name is Ramesh, I'll give the data type as char of 25. Size I will give char of 20, and that means char, char of 25, and I'll store only the name as Ramesh. Ramesh is hardly how many bytes it is taking? Hardly 5 to 6 bytes. But 25 size I have given, the size of the data type I have given 25. What happens? Only 5 to 6 bytes the data Ramesh, RAMESH will be stored. Rest all the bytes will be stored with the blank spaces. Whereas if I declare the data type as varchar, varchar 2 of 25, and then if I want to store the name as Ramesh, so 5 to 6 bytes it will store as the letters RAMESH. rest all whatever the space, rest all whatever the memory space will be there, no, that will be discarded or that will be truncated. That means what? There will be no any wastage of memory when I'm using the varchar as a data type. I'll give an example. Here you can see char of 10. That means what it is telling, I am declaring a data type known as character whose size is 10. But I am storing the data as Maya here, M-A-Y. Hardly 4 bytes of character, 4 bytes of data it will take. When 4 bytes of data, obviously 6 bytes of data will be filled with the blanks. That means it's a waste of memory, isn't it? But if I'm using the data type as varchar 2, okay, if I'm using it varchar 2 of 10 when I use, and when I have the name as Maya, what it happens, it is variable length. That means it will store 4 bytes of data and the 6 bytes of data will be truncated or discarded. The data will never be used in that data. It will truncate. Only a fixed length, that is 4 bytes it will take. Rest all the data, bytes will be discarded. Isn't it here we are wasting the memory by using the character data type, and we are saving the memory by using the varchar. This is the difference between the data type character and the varchar. Varchar actually stands for the variable length character. Understood? Then next we shall see the table. Now let us consider the table known as employee. Okay, and we are having the fields or the attributes known as employee ID, name, department, age, salary, city and Aadhaar. If I want to create the table known as employee, what command I have to use as create, isn't it? Create table employee. Then what are my field names? Employee ID, comma, name, comma, department, comma, age, comma, salary, comma, city, comma, Aadhaar number. This is how I need to create. But whenever you are creating the field names, it is very important to mention the data type also. Now what is the data? Looking at this data, okay, what is the data type of an employee ID? You can say it is a numeric data type. So what data type we are using is the number data type. Understood? Look at the name. It is completely of, it is a completely of alphabets. Then you go for the character, or you can also go for the varchar. Similarly for department, I can go for character. I'll be showing here. So this is a number data type. This is the character data type. Again we should have again character, then number data type. Salary should have the number data type. City should have the character data type. Aadhaar number, here by mistakenly it has come as character, but it should have the number character according to the domain. What is domain? Domain is nothing but they are the set of the values to a particular attribute or the column. All these are nothing but the domain. I think this terminology domain we have discussed previously. Am I right? Then in our next slide, let us see what are the sizes of the data type. So integer, if I am using, it can have the range of almost -2, 147, 483, 648 to +2, 147, 483, 647. This is the range of the integer. So this is the range of the numeric, that is the number data type. Okay, in terms of floating type, we have this as the range, but in case of floating we have less precision. That means, for example, if I want to store 5.51000, if I am using the floating point as data type, at least 6 to 7 precisions I'll be having. After decimal digit, up to 6 to 7 digits I can have. But if I am using the real, we have the double precision, almost around 16. After the decimal point, after up to 16 digits you can store the digits. Then in case of date and data type, date time will store from the calendar Jan 1st 1753 to December 31st 9999. Up to this date it will be able to store the data in the database. Okay, if I want to have only date to be printed, then it stores. How it is storing? First the month name, then the day, and then the year. This is how the format we are getting if I am using the date as data type. And if I am using the time as data type, it will be showing in this way. Okay, 12:30 p.m. So this format it follows. This is hours, this is minutes, and this is the AM or the PM it will be showing. And in case of character, okay, maximum length of up to 8,000 characters it can hold, and varchar also can hold about the 8,000 characters. Fixed length, the non-unicode characters in the sense what? So usually they are if that all, if it is a fixed length, let's say for character of 2 of 25, that means entire the size of the character 25 bytes it will occupy. Whereas in case of variable length, what happens, if at all if I give varchar 2 of 25, it also depends upon what amount of data, suppose Maya, Ramesh, Rahul, what amount of data you are giving, only that many bytes it will be stored and the rest will be discarded. So this was all about the data types in SQL. In our next video we shall start about the SQL commands, which are very important from the practical point of view. Okay, so we shall meet you in the next class. Take care of yourself, students. Thank you.